We're right along the side of Interstate 49 right now. This is just after the Weddington exit in Fayetteville. I want to give you guys a closer look at what we're seeing here. And this is one of the targets of the suspect's crime spree. Now I'm going to take you around the corner here. And if you can see this black tarp, it's covering where a window unit once was. The building owner tells me the suspect was able to pry that off of the window there and get inside of the building and ransack the entire place. Guys, I'm right off the edge of the square right now. I'm going to give you guys a closer look. A police unit just came through here, and over the intercom, they said this is no longer a lawful assembly. Leave the square now or you will be arrested. I just stepped out of a meeting with emergency managers and officials here in Benton County, giving us the latest details on last night's storm and what this cleanup process is going to look like. Part of it has to do with this piece of paper right here. If you're coming from Cave Springs, right here is as far as you can get at this point in time. But take a look at this. Drivers, thousands of them, have been filing down this dirt road right here, following each other blindly, eventually ending up at the airport. And again, this sign was put up just earlier today, and these protesters tell me they're going to stay out here until it's taken down. Not one, not two, but three of this family's vehicles all crushed at the same time by the same tree just the other night during that storm. You can see a protester there going up to those officers and shaking their hand. As I said earlier, this was meant to be a peaceful protest. It took a little bit of a different turn. As the number of coronavirus cases continue to rise across Arkansas, a statewide mask mandate takes effect tomorrow. Breaking news tonight: after a more than 24-hour search, crews recovered the body of a man who drowned in the Arkansas River. President Trump says the next 48 hours are going to be crucial in his battle with the coronavirus, and his doctors say they are cautiously optimistic. A man was shot and killed inside his home in Fayetteville this weekend after arriving to find his roommate held at gunpoint by an intruder. That intruder was Travis Trustin, who is now behind bars on multiple charges, including capital murder. She has 12 kids, 29 grandkids, 42 great-grandchildren, and one great-great-grandbaby. Wow, I cannot imagine what their family reunions look like just with her family alone. Toppling trees in the Bahamas and hammering Puerto Rico and parts of the Dominican Republic, where thousands are still without power. Now, Dax, you can see the devastation happening there, and then now it's going along the East Coast. But here in our area, we're not really feeling any of the effects from Isaias, are we? The weather's good, your spirits are down, but as a Hog fan, you always have to know what to say after a loss, because it happens a lot, unfortunately. And I'll give you this line: there's always next year. Oh, well. Unrest here on Main Street today. All over this sign you see here. Some standing in support of the Black Lives Matter movement and others opposed to it, saying this sign has no place here in Clarksville. A town divided. All over a sign hanging across Main Street.
Because that sign is a magnet for trouble.
The sign reading Black Lives Matter rally September 4th through 7th, bringing protesters and supporters to either side of the street in Clarksville. It went up Friday morning, and within hours, its presence led to a heated conversation on social media and in town.
This wasn't here yesterday. This wasn't going on yesterday. There's no reason for this division. Everybody knows that we shouldn't specify one certain one and then call other people racist when we do.
During today's protest over the sign, people blocked the road and tensions rose. This man, 70-year-old Stephen Williams, threw a punch that landed him in handcuffs. He's charged with disorderly conduct. Supporters of the sign say they disagree with the push to take it down.
Everything in me says, you can't say that all lives matter and then that sign upset you.
Differing opinions coming from either side of Main Street.
All lives matter. And that's what should be hanging there, not black lives, because all lives matter.
I believe that all lives have value. Absolutely. I want all lives to matter, but until Black Lives Matter, all lives can't matter.
Protesters I spoke to today say they will continue to hold signs and raise their voices until the banner comes down. Supporters say they plan to attend the Black Lives Matter protest the sign promotes in September.
I really feel bad that I wasn't able to come outside and probably get over there and get him out of that house.
Stevie Cannon was awake preparing to go hunting when he heard sirens and saw smoke next door. He watched as firefighters brought out his neighbors and friends one by one from the burning home.
And I was in tears. I was on my porch watching them bring those kids out, and just broke my heart.
A mother and her 4 children were trapped inside the house. Cannon and other neighbors on 35th Street say now that the smoke is cleared, all that's left is a devastating shell of a home where the family once lived.
The windows are out. You got smoke burns all over the house. It look like it's coming out of all the windows and stuff. It looks terrible.
Eric Mitchell with the Fort Smith Police Department says 3 of the children were life-flighted to Little Rock and remain in life-threatening condition, while their mom remains in intensive care in Fort Smith. But the 3-year-old little girl died from the fire.
You know, the little baby, she was a delightful little girl.
Cannon says all of the children were always filled with joy, especially the little 3-year-old girl.
The little girl, she used to play with my little grandbaby, and my boys played with the other 2 little girls, my grandboys. They're 9 and 5 and 9. They all got along good, played out here all the time, so it's real hard to see that.
Cannon says he watched, waited, and prayed as firefighters and police officers performed CPR on the family until EMS arrived.
They was fantastic. I ain't never seen nobody try that hard to keep people alive. They pumped and pumped till they couldn't pump anymore.
We fight this thing till we can't fight it no more to try to save her.
It was a fight Juan Roman Dove and Austin Adams didn't know was coming while traveling on opposite sides of Interstate 49, both watching as an SUV veered off the road, bursting into flames.
Automatically just turned. I'm not sure why or what happened, but made a sharp right turn and just the vehicle smacked into the side of the bridge.
Moments after witnessing the impact, complete strangers raced to the burning SUV.
With 5 or 6 other gentlemen that have pulled over to help, and we're fighting a fire.
Both lanes of traffic came to a halt as the men tried repeatedly to break open the crushed car doors and smash through the windows, eventually taking a step back after the heat and smoke became too much to bear.
It just wasn't working, and it got to the point to where it got too hot. And, we had to back away. There was a lot of smoke.
Juan and Adam and all the strangers you see here watched as the smoke overtook the interstate. Rogers and Lowell fire departments arrived, finally extinguishing the flames. But it was too late. Rogers Fire Department confirmed the driver of the vehicle died at the scene. Tonight, with tears in their eyes, both Juan and Austin want the family of the victim to know they did everything they possibly could.
Makes me feel so bad for, not being able to get the person out of the car. It just really weighs heavy on me, and it still is right now.